Hi everyone, it's Di here from Di's Den. Welcome to another Sunday video, and this week we're going to make this lovely box. It's a hexagon box. It's lovely. It's actually very sturdy. It's got nice lining here so that it keeps it nice and sturdy around the top and around the inside of the lid as well. So this measures, let me see, let's pop this straight, 3 inches by 3 inches, and then the height is, what am I doing, turning it upside down, it's still really different, by 3 inches. So it's roughly like a 3-inch square with the corners cut off, but it's very, very sturdy. It takes very little product to make this, and everything I'm going to use is retired except for the cardstock. So I'm going to be using this punch, which is my bow builder punch, which is from way back, I'd say 5 or 6 years ago. So it's really, I love it, so I would never get rid of it. And these retired last year or the year before, I'm not sure. And those are the layering circles, and I'm going to be using the second and the third size of the scallop circles in that. So, and the paper that I'm using is very retired as well. I can't even remember what it's called. Let me have a look, see if I can get the packet out and have a look what it was called. Oh, here it is. It was called Wonderful World, and I have a little bit of it still left, so I thought, well, you know what, I'm going to use it. So that's what I did. So that's smaller circle which will go on top of the larger circle, and I've already made my bow to go on the top of that. So we will pop them on one side, and so this circle is a 2 3/4 inch circle, and this one's a 2.5 inch circle. And these are scallop. If you don't have the layering circles and you want to know what size they were. So let's pop them there. There's no stamping whatsoever. Have a little bit of DSP and 2 pieces of card. Now you couldn't get much less than that, could you? So this piece is 11 1/4 by 7 inches. This piece is 11 1/4 by 3 inches. Then you're going to need 6 pieces of designer series paper that measure, I'm going to have to pull this over because of all the sizes on here, 1.5 inches wide by 2 3/4 inches long. Now if you've got a directional paper, just make sure you've got your direction in the portrait side. Then we need 6 more pieces of designer series paper, and these are going to be in the landscape way, and these need to be 1 5/8 wide by 1/2 inch deep, long, whatever you want to put, that wouldn't be long, wide by horizontal, so 1/2 inch. So you would need that in the landscape size. Okay, so let's pop them on one side. Now we're going to actually score this on the trimmer, mainly because some of the measurements, and I'm going to have to bring this over so I can read them, are 1/16 of an inch. Unfortunately, there is no other way of doing it so that you get a nice fit for your lid. Okay, so we're going to start with our larger piece, which is our main box piece, and we're going to score this, and I'm going to use my scoring tool wherever it is. There it is, it's on the scoreboard. So I'm going to score this piece at 1 3/4 of an inch. Now I like to pop this down because then I've got a guide. If I use my small ball, which we're supposed to be doing because we're using card, you can just score down that in that groove. The next one is 3.5. So we're going to score that at 3.5. The next one is 5 1/4. I could have done these on the normal board, but I decided to do the whole lot on here to show you how easy it is. You can use your scoring tool. I don't have a scoring tool on my board. I lost it. It went haywire. So that was 5 1/4. We want the next one at 7. But I just find it easier to score with a scoring tool anyway. 8 3/4. And 10 1/2. Okay, so that's our first piece, and we're going to score the other one when we get that far. We're going to make, we're going to need to score the opposite way too. Silly me. Okay, so then we're going to score this at 1 1/2. Actually, I'm going to turn this the other way around so that my small end is at the top. My tab end is at the top. So we score out 1 1/2 and 4 1/2. Let's put my scoring tool up there. Let's move my board out of the way. Let's move this piece out of the way. And we're going to bring in these pieces here, and we're going to work on this piece here. Okay, I don't need that anymore for a moment. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to cut away. Now the small end here, this 1 1/2 inch side, is at the top. This longer bit here is at the bottom. So we're going to cut up the first one on the right hand side on that tab end and just trim it off, and we're going to do the same on the top bit. Okay, like so. Then what we're going to do is we're going to turn it upside down, and we're going to just a smidgen off of each one of these. So I'm going to cut just either side of the score line, cutting that score line off, just so I've got just the tiniest little wedge on this small end. And we're only going to do that on the top section, which is the small section. And one on that end there. Okay, so we've got those. Let's get rid of those bits. We're going to turn it around the other way now, and we're going to just cut up these ones to the next score line. We're just going to cut up straight up them, just straight. Unfortunately, unless you whiz past, I can't do this any other way. Alright, so now we're going to fold and burnish these. So we're going to fold and burnish them, and we want to burnish these top ones down really, really hard. Really hard, so that they give a nice crisp edge across the top of the card box. The bottom ones we can just do just normally, because they're going to just all going to get stuck down. So not that the top ones aren't going to get stuck down, but they're going to get stuck down differently to the bottom ones. And then we're going to do each of the across this way. I guess we could have done these before we actually cut them, but it doesn't really matter. Okay, so now we're going to pop on our pieces of designer series paper. So making sure you've got this smaller section at the top, because we don't want to oh dearie me, it was really hot the other day when I used this glue last, and it's all stuck all around it. So I'm just trying to pull that off so I can use it nicely, because it was really hot the other day. When I went to use it, it actually bubbles up a little bit. Okay, so this is now not going to come out of here because it's so cold today. In comparison, it went from really hot to really cold very quickly. How weird is this weather? Okay, so we're going to pop these on, making sure that, I'm going to do this on the angle because I find it easier for me, that they're in nicely between those. And they go in the middle section that is not cut at all. And lucky last. Okay, once they're all down nice, I'm going to turn it over and just give it a quick rub down because it's a bit cooler today. Alright, so they're all on there nicely, and we're going to now bring that over and place glue on this tab. So I'm going to hold it up because it's a colour that's hard to see on top of each other. And then we're going to bring this one over on top of it. Pushing that down really, really nice and tightly. So now we have our box, but it's really not hexagon shaped at this stage. So we're going to just pull these out like this, and we're going to pop some glue on each one individually. And I like to give them plenty so that they stick down nice and tight. Push that down and then move around to the next one. Now you can do it laying down like I'm doing here, or like I did the first one sitting up. I always find doing the first one sitting up and then lifting it and pushing it down, it goes better. But that's just me. You may find an easier way than what I did. And I thought about doing them before I glued the side together, but you actually can't do that because of it won't go past your join here on the inside unless you do all but the very end one opposite the tab, the opposite end to the tab. And one more. And we have a nice crisp top edge, which is nice and sturdy. So now we're actually going to just turn this upside down, and we're going to bring all of these out like so, except for two, which are going to go opposite each other like so. So we're going to bring them in and pop glue on one of them about halfway. It doesn't matter if it goes a bit more, but it's better to be a little bit less than a little bit more. And we want it to line up so that these line up nicely along the side, which means that then they're in the right shape. Okay, once we've done that, we can then bring the next two over, and we're going to do the same again. So we're now going to pop a little bit of, I'm going to put a little bit of extra glue under this one and this end. There we go. So I'm going to pop a little bit of glue in the middle here, and then bring this one over, and then make sure that that one lines up on top of it nicely so we've got the right shape. And then we'll do the same again. So we're going to pop glue on this one. Bring this one over on top. And then making sure once again that they line up nicely there. I'm then going to turn it over and give it a squish down. I'm doing it in between each one because I think that it actually makes it stick together a little bit better. Alright, so then we're going to do this last two. So once again we're going to put a bit of glue into the middle, pop this one across, making sure that that one lines up on top nice and neatly. Yep, it does. So then we'll glue this one down. Glue over there. Bring them across. Once again, turn it over. Give it a nice squish down on the inside, so make sure it's all nice and sturdy. Okay, if you find that this bit along this edge, mine is not, mine is a little bit loose, just tiny little glue underneath there and then push it down. So there we have the main part of our box, our hexagon box. So we're going to pop that one out of the way, and now we're going to bring in, I'm going to put the pin in my glue because of the silly weather we have at the present time. Ouch, that went in my finger, not the glue. And I'm going to turn my instruction sheet over to the next page and bring it down here because I'm going to need it. Because this is where we're going to need to have this scoreboard over our other scoreboard, unless you have 1/16 on your other scoreboard, which mine doesn't. It only has 1/8 of an inch. Okay, so here we go. We're going to be scoring this one at 1 13/16. So we know that there are 16 of these little, let me put that the right way so I don't score the wrong one, 16 of these little bits in between. So we know that every second one is 2, 4, 6, 8 is half, 10, 12 is 3/4. So it's 3/4 plus 1/16 more. So we're going to score that down there. The next one is 3 5/8. 4 5/8. I'm sorry about the 16ths, but I don't like a soggy lid that bounces around. If you're going to spend the time making it, you want it to be nice. So the next one is 5 7/16. So 2, 4, 6. It's just the little notch before the halfway mark. The next one is 7 1/4 inches. 9 1/16. 9 and 1 little mark past that 9-inch mark. And then the last one is 10 7/8. 10 7/8. Now this will give you a smaller piece on the end, but it doesn't matter. It's a lid, and oh, we need to score this the opposite way too. Sorry. Alright, so then we're going to turn this way, and once again I'm going to put my small tab end at the top, and I'm going to score these at 1/2 inch. Making sure it's in there nice and flush, and 1 1/4 inches. Okay, so now we've done all of our scoring again. This time we're going to do the same as we did before, except this is now, the small end is the bottom of the box here. This is the top of the lid, right on the very top. So we're going to do exactly the same as we did before, and we're going to cut away the top part of that notch tab and the small one on the bottom. We're also going to do the same as we did before. We're going to, along this small edge, we're going to wedge it in at each one of these areas, score lines. Just enough so that we can for each side of the score line. And the last one. Let's get rid of all my bits. Alright, then we're going to turn it over and we're going to cut down to the next score line. And once again we're going to fold and burnish all these score lines now, like we did before. This way we're going to make sure this tiny one is pushed down really nice and hard because of it turning under, to reinforce the lid. These top ones are not quite so bad. And then we're going to do all of our side ones. Okay, so we're going to pop it so that we've got this on the bottom this time, and we're going to bring in our pieces of DSP and we're going to pop them so that the picture is the correct way up for if you're sitting this way. Oops, my piece of thingy there's gone really, it's not, I haven't put glue dots underneath this one to hold it down. So we're going to pop these along here like we did last time. Oh, come on, I can't even pick it up now. Making sure that your landscape is the correct way. It's facing you with this small edge along the bottom. I'm going to hold these in my hand, they're tiny and I'm finding them hard to pick up after. Oops, come back. I'm really having trouble picking them up. Okie dokie, so that's our pieces of designer series paper onto these. Again, I'm going to turn that over and give that a quick wipe down like so. I don't know why I've got those bits sitting there, they're annoying me. They're just bits of paper. Alright, so we're going to do exactly the same as we did before. We're going to close this, I'm going to turn it around this way because it's easier for me. Put a little bit of glue on this tab end. Well, nice bit of glue. And bring this one over, making sure that the score lines all match up nicely, and we're going to pop that down nice and tight. This time we're going to turn it so that these small ends, the same as before, are on the top, and we're going to once again place glue along the inside of them like so. Oops, sorry, I'm out of the picture. And we're going to tuck that under nice and tightly. And we bring them all the way around like exactly the same as we did on the other box part. In, squish it down. And I'm squishing them down nice and tight because we want it to stick nicely. So in, squash it down. In, squash it down. Two more. I'm going to do the two together. I guess you could do that all the way around if you wanted to. Squash them down nicely. So we've now got a really nice solid edge to it at the bottom of our box. And once again we're going to pull these ones out like so, and we're going to bring these ones together across the top. This time there's not as much to hold on to, so you're going to want to put a little bit of glue, about 1/2 inch only on this section. Bring that across, making sure once again that they actually meet up and are flush on the sides. By making sure that they're flush on the sides, you know you've got the correct shape. This way, we're going to push this one into shape. Right, there we go. Again, and just put a little bit of glue on the bottom, right the way along. Why did I only put halfway along? Making sure that that's nice and flush there. Yep. Oh crap. Ooh, excuse me. I didn't mean to say that. There we go. And then pop a little bit more along this edge here. And bring that one over so that it matches up on top nicely. Sometimes it's easier to put it in your hand to do that. You'll find that it actually moves better in the right way. Once more, so we're going to pop this one down with a bit of glue just there, bringing that one over and that one at the same time so you know that the shape is correct. Once we've done that, we can push that one down and this one across. Now that looks a little bit off yucky there on that corner where it's joined together, but don't worry about that, it's not going to show. So this lid fits on here really nice and snugly like so, all the way around, and I'm really happy with that. With that bit that's sticking up a tiny bit there, I'm going to just lift that away and just pop a little bit of glue underneath those two sides there, and I will do the same on the other side. This way they're not going to move around at all or look funny. Alright, so we've got our lid on. We have the last bit, which is our little piece of designer series paper that is in the circle, which is the 2.5 inch circle on top of the 2 3/4 inch circle. Pop that on the top, and it just finishes that top off really nicely. Let's turn that over, just give that a squish down again, and there we go. And then I'm going to just pop a little bit of glue on my bow that I made to pop on the top. What do you think? Oh wow, I think it's gorgeous. You can't see that ribbon on the top of there very well. I think it was better when I did it in the corresponding colour of the box. But they both look gorgeous. And I can see these being used for lots of different reasons. You could fill them full of sweets. I don't know, I didn't line that one up real well in that corner, which is not, I'm not happy with the way I lined that up, but never mind. I can deconstruct that corner and do that properly at another time. but it does look gorgeous. It is an easy box to make. It's nice and sturdy. You can feel how sturdy that is. You can push it. It doesn't squish in because of you've got all this reinforcing on the inside here, which is what I like. The lid fits on nice and snugly. I know that we've got the weirdy measurements, and unfortunately to get that snug fit you need to do that, and unfortunately that's the only way I can do it. Oh, that is really bugging me. That is going to really bug me that that's not sitting there nicely. Never mind, I will fix it, and when I photograph it you will see that it's fixed. Okie dokie. So that's our project today. It is actually called a Hexagon Gift Box, or Hexagon Box. If you've enjoyed today's project, please give me a thumbs up. Leave me a comment. I do answer all comments and I do enjoy reading them all. And I look forward to seeing you next time. Bye for now.